Back here in some Star Wars Battlefront 2 today, ranking the best heroes and villains in the game 1 through 22. And we're going to start off with the tier 6 heroes, only 2 of them here, and these are completely unusable heroes, and those are BB-8 and BB-9E. These are the only 2 in tier 6. They're terrible, never pick them. They don't really have any good offensive weapons, they have very limited range, and their abilities aren't great. Stay away from these 2 droids. Kicking off tier 5 at number 20 is Captain Phasma. Captain Phasma's gun isn't terrible, and she has one decent ability, but other than that, her staff strikes are way too slow, and the sentry droid doesn't make enough of an impact, so Captain Phasma is stuck down at number 20. At number 19 is Iden Versio. Iden Versio is essentially just an upgraded normal trooper. She's got the TL50, which is a solid gun, but other than that, there's really no reason for you to spend 4,000 battle points on her. At number 18 is Han Solo. He has the DL44, which is not nearly as good of a gun as it was last year. His abilities are okay, so shoulder charge can be really tough to use though, and Han Solo is down at number 18. At number 17 is one of my favorite heroes to use from the original Star Wars Battlefront, Lando Calrissian. However, his smoke grenade is absolutely terrible, and the night sniper is not nearly as good as it was in the first game, which leaves Lando severely lacking and down at number 17. At number 16 is Boba Fett, and Boba Fett is up at 16 solely because of his jetpack, which allows you to get around the map, get to control points, and help to control the battlefield, which puts Fett slightly ahead of a lot of the other solid generic gun users. The last hero in tier 5, clocking in at number 15, is Finn. Finn is only slightly ahead of all the other heroes because his gun is a bit better than most of the other heroes, and all 3 of his abilities are usable and decent, which gives Finn a slight edge over all of the generic gun users. At the start of tier 4 at number 14 is General Grievous. Tier 4 heroes are solid, mediocre heroes that have one glaring weakness, and the glaring weakness of General Grievous is that he is not very fast, his lightsaber swings are slow, and he has trouble closing the gap onto people that are shooting at him, and he doesn't quite make up with it for his abilities. Even though he's one of the coolest heroes in the game, General Grievous leaves a lot to be desired. At number 13 is Rey, and Rey's biggest weakness is that none of her abilities work very well on the offensive. Mind Trick is one of the best abilities in the game, which allows you to confuse your opponents and get them to move around randomly, but Dash Strike almost always has you taking a bunch of damage, and Insight is just not very helpful as a hero, which makes Rey just a super mediocre lightsaber hero. Why would you take her when you can take a lot better lightsaber heroes? At number 12 is Chewbacca. Chewbacca is a very solid all-around hero. Shock Grenade is a really good ability, Furious Bowcaster is really good at taking out groups of enemies, and Charge Slam can help him to close the gap. However, the problem with Chewbacca is his Bowcaster, without using Furious Bowcaster, is not a very good weapon, and if people get in close to Chewbacca, they can easily do a ton of damage if he doesn't have one of his abilities recharged. The last hero of tier 4 at number 11 is Princess Leia. Princess Leia is a pretty solid all-around hero. Thermal detonators and rapid fire are 2 really good abilities, however Squad Shield is absolutely terrible, and her main weapon, her pistol, is not an effective weapon at all, which leaves Leia out of some of the higher tiers. Entering tier 3 at number 10 is Count Dooku. Count Dooku is here because he has 3 pretty solid abilities, moves fast, and is a very effective lightsaber user. At number 9 is Anakin. Anakin is one of the more interesting heroes in the game because he has Retribution, which is unlike pretty much any ability anyone else has, where his powers slowly build up and release a massive attack after it's done building. Other than that though, his other 3 abilities are pretty solid, and the Retribution is just what edges him out over Count Dooku. At number 8, and the last of tier 3, is Yoda. Now what puts Yoda ahead of Dooku and Anakin is Unleash, which is one of the better abilities in the game, and Presence, which allows him and his teammates to gain a ton of attack back, including really good mobility for Yoda. Yoda is a very solid hero and is the best hero in tier 3. Now at number 7, and at the beginning of tier 2, is Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren is really effective at close range. Pull, Frenzy, and Freeze are all very solid abilities, which make Kylo Ren absolutely deadly once he gets in close, which puts him at number 7 on the list. At number 6, and my personal favorite hero or villain, is Darth Maul. Darth Maul has 3 really solid abilities, even though Chokehold is a little slow, and what sets Darth Maul apart is his mobility, which allows him to zip across the map and take out his opponents one by one. At number 5 is Obi-Wan Kenobi, another one of my favorite heroes to use in the game. 3 very solid abilities, and All Out Push has an argument for possibly the best ability in the game. Obi-Wan Kenobi is very good at controlling the battlefield and using his abilities to help his team win. At number 4 is a hero who, when used correctly, can be one of the best in the game, and Emperor Palpatine. Emperor Palpatine's main attack can be a little tricky because it doesn't have a ton of range, but his abilities allow him to absolutely control the battlefield, and a good Palpatine player can take out opponents by swarms.
Patience.
At number 3, and the hero I am best at using, is Bossk. Bossk has 3 really good abilities, and his gun is okay. It has a lot of range, and it can also do a lot of damage up close. Diax's Grenade and Predator Instincts can allow Bossk to heal up while taking out a lot of enemies, which makes Bossk an incredibly difficult hero to deal with. In Tier 1, the number 2 hero is Luke Skywalker. Luke Skywalker is incredibly fast, has 3 very good abilities, has a lot of health, and is all around an absolute problem to deal with in the battlefield, a hero you could definitely argue for being number 1.
Tell your superiors, they're coming.
And at number 1 is one of the most iconic characters in Star Wars, Darth Vader. The hero with the most health. Focused Rage can gain him back even more health. Choke can control multiple enemies at once, and his lightsaber throw can be increased to throw 50% farther. If you see Darth Vader, you should head the other direction. And that's my list. Of course, this is a completely subjective list. You guys don't have to agree at all. If you have a different opinion, make sure to let me know about it in the comment section. Also, let me know what you guys think about the Star Wars Battlefront conflict. And with that said, that's going to be the video for today. Please make sure to like and subscribe.